Hello everyone and welcome to the Gooner Factory. So today is game day and that means we'll be talking about the game against Aston Villa, but also we'll be going through the important points from Arteta's press conference and maybe a hint that David Raya will be dropped. So let's get into it. So firstly, there were a couple of interesting points in the press conference, so we're going to start with that. And one of the first questions was, that's the 5th goal you've scored in injury time so far this season. So you've obviously got bags of talent, quality players, but that fight, that commitment till the end, is that what titles are made of? And Arteta said, well, I think a team has to have an unbelievable desire to win every match, and I think we've got that. And I think we've showed that time and time again. We could have scored earlier. There were certain moments we could have done better to get the 3rd or the 4th goal, but when it's not the case, the team has the resources right now and the skill to keep believing and actually doing what the game requires in that moment to win. And you can see exactly what Arteta means there. I mean, let's look at where we've scored late winners this season. You have Havertz against Brentford to win the game 1-0 away from home, 89 minutes. Trossard against Chelsea away from home, 84th minute to level the game, 2-2 and rescue a point. Arsenal vs Man City at home, 1-0 win. Martinelli, 86th minute, secures a massive win. And that's if we're only going back to October. So you can definitely see that determination the players have. I mean, how many times have we seen in previous season where we're playing a team we should probably beat and we haven't managed to score in sort of 60 or 70 minutes? There's not really anyone out there who's able to grab the game. The hunger sort of just seems to be missing, or the attitude of the players doesn't really represent that of the fans. And you're just like, come on, let's please just make something happen. And that's where Arteta's team seems different. You can see this manager's desire to win is imprinted in the players. So the next question was, a massive test, of course, coming up on Saturday night. Aston Villa have won every game at home in the Premier League since you were last there. What do you make of the run they've been on? And Arteta said, huge credit to them. Huge credit to Unai and the coaching staff for what they've done. The way they've turned things around. The way they play. Yeah, they're going to be a really tough opponent. It's a great place to go. It's one of my favourite grounds. A very English ground. Great atmosphere. So it's going to be a big chance for us. So what does he mean by a big chance? I think he's referring to not only the game, but the landscape of the Premier League at the minute. With so many teams around us dropping points, you don't know what's going to happen this weekend with the other teams. I mean, we obviously get to see what Liverpool do because they're the early game. But even them, they're playing Crystal Palace, who seem to be a bit of a bogey team for them. So they have to go to Palace, lunchtime kickoff. So if they aren't fully focused, they could well come away from that game having dropped points. So this is a massive game for us. Because if we win this game, we don't only get a massive 3 points against a team that the likes of Man City couldn't, but this could be like a pivotal moment. We beat a team and really solidify our position at the top and make ourselves the team to beat. Because the more we keep winning games, it's going to put pressure on Man City at a time where they're obviously going through something. So the pressure might just affect them differently this season. So the next question was about David Raya and his mistakes. And it was with David. Obviously, every player makes mistakes. But as we've seen before, if a goalkeeper makes a mistake, it's highlighted. But is it even more highlighted in his case because of the debate that's going on in terms of your number one? And has that affected him, do you think? Arteta said, if you look at his form and what he's achieved since he's been with us, he's really, really impressive. But what can I say? I have 3 really great goalkeepers. We have to support our players in the best possible way. We have to protect them to get the best out of them. Every player needs the right support and love. So what do I think of these comments? I think you can take them both ways. Firstly, you could take it as, you need to support him so he's staying in goal. We're going to give him that belief, that confidence he needs. And mistakes are just going to be part of the initial transition. But he's our number one goalie now. Or you could even read it as you need to look after them and protect them. So we're going to give him a bit of time out of the limelight. So people are not sort of micro-analysing every single aspect of his game. And almost like waiting on him to make a mistake. Just so they can make a story out of it or carry it on as a discussion. So it will be very interesting to see what Arteta does in that goalkeeping position later today. So just bear that in mind when the team comes out at 4:30. So a few of the questions he was asked was about his celebration and why he was booked. And I'm not going to speak on every single one he was asked, as we'll be here for 5 minutes just on like one set of questions. But he was basically saying it's hard to not celebrate a 95th minute winner. He understood if you look in the rule book, it does say you shouldn't do that. But he did say he probably will continue to do that because it's hard to not in that moment. And one of the questions the reporter said is, we've seen many celebrations by managers who actually go onto the pitch to celebrate and don't get booked. Do you think you're being targeted? To which he didn't really answer. So he obviously felt like he wasn't being targeted. He just said, when you get them moments in sport, you should be able to do that. And if he was given the chance, he would be there and jumping. Which to me is obviously fair enough. I don't get why the manager can't celebrate. I don't get why he can't go to the players. They work so hard all week in putting a game plan together. Then when it pays off, you have to just sit there and not enjoy the fruits of your labour. It's strange. So the last one he was asked was just about any new injuries or concerns from the players after Tuesday's game. And he said no, everyone is going to be okay. So here's my final thoughts on the game. I'm expecting a hard-fought win from Arsenal. This game is one of the most difficult of the season so far. I mean, look at what they've just done to City. They didn't just scrape a win. They comprehensively outplayed, outfought, and dominated that game. So we have to be 100% on it. But I think the fight we currently have in this team will be enough. Now, I would personally prefer in a game like this, we had a stronger, more combative midfield with the likes of Partey and Rice, but we haven't. So we're probably going to have to play two more attacking-minded players. It will be Rice, Trossard or Havertz, and then Odegaard. Now, the only way he can get around this is if he throws Jorginho in, who hasn't started too many times this season for us, who can be more defensive, but he lacks legs a little bit. Now, the only other option he would have is if he was to throw a total curveball and stick Elneny in for his work rate and physicality, but we shall see. Score prediction, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Arsenal. But let me know your thoughts on everything you've heard in this video. Who do you think will start out of Raya or Ramsdale? Who will the midfield three be? And what's your score prediction? Thanks as always to everyone for watching and listening. If you could, just to help me out, hit that like and subscribe button. And I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.